So the 200th chapter milestone board game arc had finally reached its end, and about a week ago or so already, right? And this arc really got me tearing up from looking back essentially at the incredible journey of the Renter family in these past 200 chapters, you know, reminiscing about the lives, laughs, and loves of each moment the family has been together with, right? It's just so incredible, and man, yeah, indeed, 200 chapters and still going. Or with that being said, right, I want to share with all of you just 10 funny chapters in these past 200, or basically I guess 199 chapters, right, that I would love to read again from time to time, because it's so, you know, I just find them to be so hilarious, right? The comedic timing and the moments of it really caught me off guard. You know, maybe want to spat my beer out when I was chugging while we're reading this. And yeah, you know, and of course, by no means is this again one of those, you know, top 10 moments type of video. No, it's just a video where I want to share just 10 chapters, right? Because trust me, there is a whole lot of different chapters and moments, right? Funny moments in this series, but these are just some that that I have picked for the purpose of this video. So with that being said, first off which, let's start with chapter 34, Iku's meeting with the Renter family, her official meetup with everyone in the Renter family, right? And this is essentially also the start of their training for when they will eventually face up against the Jurassic Park baseball team to save Iku's baseball club, right? Now there was a scene when Iku collapsed from exhaustion from swinging her bat all night, right? And when she was brought to the infirmary, she had a heart-to-heart talk with Rentaro, and it's all very sweet and wholesome. But then came in this scene, right, this particular panel where the Renter family had all gathered, right, and they were, you know, they basically strengthened their conviction and determination to face off against the enemy team. And it seemed alright up until you read one of Hahari's lines, right, about how she was actually under the clinic bed where Iku was sleeping, right? If you didn't notice it the first time, you take a look back at the last panel to see that panel again, right? In case if you missed it, you can actually see right under the bed of Iku, in the darkness, you can see a pair of Hahari's eyes and even the mole right underneath the bed. Oh my god. This is absolutely hilariously creepy, but I can't help but laugh every time I look back on it, right? Because it's funny because we know that this is something that Hahari would do, right? But seeing it now solidifies that it is something that she had done, right? Hahari is a character that delivers such a really strong presence to the comedic aspects of this manga, and whenever she's up to her antics in sneaking some moments here and there, right, you can always count on her to leave you questioning how far will how far will this manga go, right? It's that level of the twist and unpredictability that really hits the mark to make this manga so incredibly entertaining, because again, damn Hahari! Chapter 73. Now in this chapter, the Renter family went shopping on a mall, right? When a TV host approached them to ask if they could share some love story moments, right? Now, of course, the TV host, not knowing that all of these girlfriends have the same boyfriend, each and every story, yep, it gets funnier each and every time, each and every story being told, right? Listening to about Rentaro's dates and experiences with the girlfriends and showing his unprecedented feats of boyfriend monstrosity and amazingness is really hilarious. I love it. Then the reporters also being just as surprised as each of the story progresses, right? Questioning reality, like, who is this guy? Does this guy even exist? Is there a boyfriend who could do these sorts of acts, right? You know, and in the end, even when the reporter called the girls weird when she interviewed Rentaro, right? And the Rentaro, of course, went ballistic when he heard someone, you know, badmouth, quote-unquote badmouth his girlfriends, right? Even to the point of becoming a trend in Twitter as the, you know, hashtag monster boyfriend or something. It's a really fun chapter that I love to also take a look at from time to time again, because not only does it show the impressive boyfriend acts of Rentaro or the wholesome, cute and lovey-dovey moments, but overall it captures the insanity of this family, of how Rentaro would go on each and every date, right? How he would do everything in his power to keep his girlfriends happy, and the lengths that he would go through to do it. Absolutely insanely hilarious. Chapter 127. This is the night pool chapter. A chapter that solves the dilemma that every pool/beach episode harbors, which is we need more characters in this way, right? Just the whole idea of having each character limit to have only 2 words per speech bubbles, absolutely a whole new dimension of storytelling, right? The plot armor for this one is strong, and of course it's thanks to Kusuri's miracle drug that made this possible. And yeah, Kusuri is another one of those characters, if I may add also as well, fam, that because of the ability of her presence of being able to create these miracle working drugs, right, or potions, right, it makes up for a lot of hilarious plot moments and stories, right, that are just wild, right? It only happens through Kusuri's whole agenda, or Kusuri's whole presence of this, and I really love the outputs and the results that they gives us, right? And yeah, you really gotta admire as well the cleverness of how each of these characters converse in this chapter, right? Because despite only having 2 words, it still makes sense, it's still understandable, but second of all, it's also made to be super hilarious, to give it for whatever reason, it's very funny. I find it very funny and hilarious to see them use only these 2 words to deliver a thought, and it just really works. Indeed, so this chapter is mixed with both hilariously fun moments with the family, while also giving us more fuel to show how amazingly beautiful each of these girls are. And goddamn, Nozuo Sensei, Nakamura Sensei, you have cooked! That last panel though, well, you gotta add a twist in here and there. Chapter 52, Chiyo's introduction to the Rentaro family, right? Again, this by chance, this is also another one of those, when the girlfriend was introduced to the Rentaro family, right? Now, right off the bat, right, this chapter in itself, we got some really wild reactions from the family. On one end, we have those who are thankful for the meal, right? And then the other, rightfully questioning whether this is okay or not, right? But what I also really love from this chapter is Chiyo trying to quote-unquote fix the quote-unquote faults of the Rentaro family, but ultimately failing in the end. But at the end of the day, it all worked out and everyone really got along together very well, right? In this chapter, there are many funny scenes that just come from showing how insanely unique the Rentaro family are, right? And there's just something about the way that, Chiyo trying to fix their quirks to make them look quote-unquote normal that just really hit the mark to make it funny, right? The attempts to try to fix them are quite hilarious, right? The girlfriends themselves are not as opposed to the idea, right, of change, and are even surrendering to Chiyo's words, just going along with it. But from the fourth wall break moments and actually seeing Chiyo whip up a copy of the manga to try to prove a point, Kusuri's withdrawal phase, a slap ass game with Hari and Iku, all of it culminate to deliver such a comedic storm in this chapter, right? Again, it's really such a fun chapter to give us a reminder, or to give us a look back, right, into the eccentric lineup of characters we have in this manga, both girlfriends and Rentaro alike, each of them having unique quirks that can't be fixed that easily because they are already perfect in their own imperfect way. Chapter 83. This is the ramen shop chapter, where pairs of the girlfriends would take on the challenge by the ramen shop owner, right? And as each ramen creation gets more and more wild for normal customers to be unable to finish it, for the Rentaro family, they just get it over with. They just bulldoze over it like it's nothing, right? Each of these moments, it's really fun to watch and read. All of the details is super hilarious. Yamame's squirrel, for example, wearing the gas mask, Mimi in her Matrix reference. And the last boss in the last few pages, the last boss of the colossal titan reference made by Kurumi, that really sealed the deal for me and many others. Overall, yeah, it's such an incredible chapter. And what's fun about this as well is that we get to see these, again, pairs of these girlfriends interact more with one another, right? Pairs of girlfriends that we know that they're quote-unquote pairs, right? For example, Nadi and Chiyo. We have also Shizuka and Nano, Hahari and Hakari, right? And we also have some unexpected pairs, right? Iku and Kishika. Well, the athletic side, yeah, for sure. We also have Momiji and Karane. Very nice pairings all around, and I just really love how each of these girlfriends show their test of strength, or show how their unique traits can, overcome the challenges made by this ramen shop owner. Yeah, super fun, super cool, and I love it. Chapter 53, right? This is the one and only the merchandise promotion chapter, merch plug chapter, so to speak, right? Basically a chapter where the family are playing around with their own merch lineup to celebrate its launch. And yes, this is also in fact a real thing, where even before we had the Hyakkano anime merch, right? Before that, the team had already sold items such as pins, keychains, something pretty simple, right, in this particular design, or sort of standard design, so to speak, right? But yeah, the very idea itself of a chapter alone, having this sort of approach, right, already breaks the standard of what it truly means to break the fourth wall, right? Integrating such a plotline into the Hyakkano story, to treat it just like a it's just a regular Monday afternoon, guys. Come on, playing with our own merchandise. Yep, that's in the bag, And I really love every bit of this chapter. From the times that we get to see this merchandise being used in different applications, right? Such as earrings, weight lifts, bulletproof material, and even Hari playing with them in such a very edgy way. God, Hari, every time, I love you so much. All of these things show a subtle parody of saying, like, these merchandise are the best, right? And more so, especially in the final scenes, when Rentaro wanted to paint to us readers, right, a picture of the pure and wholesome feeling when you buy Hyakkano merch, right? Basically to give you the impression that my life had changed because I bought Hyakkano merch, right? That sort of feeling. Only to see in the next panel a 2-page spread of Rentaro just chilling with the girls in the jacuzzi of Hyakkano merch. This scene basically captures the paradise. This is what would happen to you if you'd buy Hyakkano merch. And only to find in the page later, it was actually Hahari's delusion, I mean imagination, all along, right? God damn. And I love that look as well that Rentaro gave Hahari, like, why is she thinking about this, when in contrast with that of Hahari, Rentaro's is more of a wholesome, a wholesome feeling, right? Yeah, again, it's that contrast of pure intentions of Rentaro and the true desires of Hahari that really make this joke work and land so well. That Hahari and even all of the girlfriends are the type to really want to get it on with Rentaro. But the Rentaro on the other hand of the at the other end of the spectrum is someone who just really wants to be wholesome and cherish his girlfriends, right, and everyone in his family. It's so cute, that nice contrast, right? And you know what? As a bonus, in this chapter, the reveal of Rentaro's girlfriend merch armor is still funny, and I'm really glad that they were able to also carry on that joke years later during one of the special programs of the Hyakkano anime, when Wataru Kato, the voice actor of Rentaro himself, right, actually also wore something similar. Recreated the girlfriend merch armor out of actual Hyakkano anime merch. Absolutely meta. I love it. Amazing in its own way. Chapter 69, Momiji's debut chapter, right? So in her chapter, her debut alone is also really funny as it is, because we also get to see the reveal of her true personality and passions, right? But when we get to the point, right, there was a point in this chapter where we get a surprise, unexpected reveal of Nozawa Sensei, the illustrator of this incredible series. We get to see a cameo of Nozawa Sensei herself, and it made me and many other people had their minds blown by the insanity of such a plot line. God damn. So, okay, so basically Rentaro went to Nozawa Sensei's house. I don't know how, right? But the reason why is because he wanted to get his body in a sort of Astro Boy level of a rough condition, right? To have stiff muscles, to, you know, because it's something related to how he wanted to get closer to Momiji, right? So he went to the one place where he knows he can get into such a tiring condition, which is Nozawa Sensei's house, because Nozawa Sensei is doing all this amazing work to draw so many characters all week for this manga. So of course, when Rentaro went to her house, he helped out Nozawa Sensei to draw some manga panels in the hopes of developing stiff muscles as well, right? Now this, fam, is fourth wall break in its finest, right? Even though, you know, of course we had to, you know, they censored and covered her face, right? And even her room, her everything about her personal info is covered or censored, right? As shit should be, right? Except for her cats though, which even got a cameo and is super cute that they've added, included them in the story. I really love it. So yeah, the thought of Rentaro meeting with essentially his creator, right, not only blew our minds as readers, but even Nozawa Sensei herself in the story, who was confused to see Rentaro like in the flesh, right, even questioning herself if she was hallucinating all this time. God damn, man, this I have never seen an approach like this. Maybe there have been, right, you know, in a couple of other stories or mangas out there, but with Hyakkano, man, I just really love its delivery. And at the end, I also love how Nozawa said, Rentaro and Momiji both just nonchalantly go, okay, let's go to Nozawa Sensei's house to give her a shoulder massage for all of her hard work. Thank you, Nozawa Sensei. God damn. Chapter 56, this is the lap pillow chapter. So basically each of the girlfriends take their chance to have Rentaro sleep in their laps. And you know, everything about it is really cool. It seems very wholesome, right? But when we get to the dreams, the dream scenes of each of these characters, the girlfriends, it is hilarious and I really love it, right? You know, some of them are wholesome, right? And cute. Others are very surprising. The Hanazonos, Hakari, well, Shenango is surprised how their dreams would end up, right? And even Shizuka having a bit more of an intensity dream herself, to the dream herself, right? Mei turning into a jet dog, Nano and Rentaro in the conveyor belt looking at stars, Kusuri and Rentaro in space, Rentaro being drawn as, you know, as perfect as circles, right? And when it was Meme's turn to have Rentaro sleep on her lap, in his dream, or in the dream, Evangelion Rentaro. God damn. Need I say more? Everything about this panel is just so hilarious because of just the parody of it all, right? Oh my god. And that final lap bed, doing the whole, you know, the Junji Ito reference, it was beautifully amazing and done. Really, a really good page turner of a chapter of a story, and I really love it. Everything in this, every moment you get to see is so fun to bask in, giving us a glimpse as well into the desires of each of the girlfriends, and just overall a good impression of, you know, how Rentaro is also willing to really love each and every one of them. Chapter 129, the Tempted Trio Tries Again chapter. Basically, this is the chapter when Iku, Momoha, and Hahari failed on their first date, or on a date that they have had Rentaro in the park, because Rentaro wanted them to see something, but it didn't go as planned because they gave into the temptation to do whatever they want, right? So in the second date, the three of them hope to finally, you know, focus and spend time on Rentaro, right? They're committed to resist their temptations. Now overall, this chapter really brims perfectly with a lot of the timed comedic moments as these girls try to face on these temptations that conveniently align with their own individual desires, right? The overall highlight of this, right, is the genuine friendship displayed by these girls, as how each of them tried their best to support each other into resisting temptation, because they really wanted this date to be a success, right? So you would have these moments of, for example, Momoha nibbling on Iku's ear to distract her, Iku's exasperated Hakuri disappointed face to snap Hahari back to reality, and then you have also Hahari's signature money slap to Momoha that came out from you know where. Right? All of this add to such comedic chaos, but you know what, at the end this whole chapter accumulates to the girls ultimately succumbing to their desires in that last all-in-one only obstacle demonic baby course race, right? Right, not demonic, sorry, but yeah, only obstacle course baby race, right? And it's a testament to a lot of their playful and cheerful personalities, eccentric personalities, right? And enduring the strength of their overall friendship and relationship, not only with themselves but also with Rentaro. It's a very wholesome and entertaining reminder that, you know, even with the best intentions, sometimes, you know, giving into these temptations can be the most enjoyable and hilarious part of the journey, or in this case, of the date. Because even Rentaro couldn't resist the temptation to just see his girlfriends enjoy themselves. Chapter 194, Yamame's Alien Friend chapter. Now, this entire chapter alone is batcrap crazy in a good way. It took some time to process it, because by this point I shouldn't be surprised. In the Hyakkano universe, there is a lot of supernatural. Hell, supernatural should, or is it already in? Has it already been like in the genre itself of this manga? Because man, you know, gods, that's one thing, but of course aliens, right? Fine, gods and aliens, they both exist. Hooray, right? Oh my god, it's insane, right, for them to exist, but unexpectedly, again, we've already expected that something like this would happen, something like this would cook up, right? Because in chapter 2 already, right, chapter 2, we've already confirmed that aliens apparently do exist, so this shouldn't come as a surprise. But it is a surprise, and god, I love it, how every execution of this story, every moment of it really boils down and roll out, right? From how the cute design of the alien itself already got me hooked. It's really cute by the way, but just the way of how the girlfriends are just unfazed of the alien's presence, you know, and even some of them trying to find ways to capitalize on the existence. It was super funny. And I also love the fact that the more time the alien has spent with these girls, right, with the family, I broke down. I absolutely cracked at how when the alien tried to speak, the payoff of spending time with that bunch, that the Renter family, they picked off the different dialect speech styles of each of the girlfriends, which ended up funny as hell when the alien tried to mash together all the unique conversation talking quirks of the girls. For example, the sloshed speech of Momoha, the Americanish slang of Nadi, or Yaku's dialect speech style, Ako's gal speech, and Uto's mannerism of the bard, so much more. Like I really love how the culmination of so many different personalities have been picked up by this alien. And in the end, that whole the whole kissy-wissy kissing tradition that's being passed down to another planet, right? The Renter family be making it super wild to spread this kind of thing to a whole new other planet. So yeah, oh my god. And overall, this is such a fun chapter indeed. Oh my gosh. All of these chapters indeed are super fun to reread or to look back again, because every time of these characters come up on page, right, on the story, you can always count on them for you to have a good time, to blow your mind from the unpredictability of it all, right? From the comedic timings of it and just the overall shenanigans that these characters get into, right? There's always a fun bunch around to read something as comedic, this comedic gold, right? Absolutely amazing. And again, these are just some moments that I've picked out, right, for the purpose of this video. If you have some favorite moments or chapters that you want to share, comment down below, fam. So I can also, I'm also curious to know what your thoughts on what your favorite funny moments are. Because trust me, I would love to list down a lot of the funny moments of this manga, right, in these past 200 chapters, 203 chapters, right? But yeah, that would take too long. But it's still fun to always look back on them each and every time, every now and then, right? With that being said, thank you so much for listening, family. This has been Rindo, right? Subscribe for more Hyakkano, give a like and follow, and I'll see you to the next video. Stay safe as always. I love you all so much. Mwah.